Hey everyone, today marks 2 months since I have been home for my second Disney College program, fall 2015. I just finished uploading my heading home video, and I'm sorry that it took till March to do that because I just got lazy and I procrastinated a lot. Anyway, today I'm going to start sharing my top 5 guest stories from my fall 15 program. I know a lot of people have asked me for my favorite guest interactions from my first program, but since I worked at both locations, both programs, the same location, both programs actually, they all blur together and I can't really remember my spring, best guest stories. I'm sorry about that, but I'm definitely going to film my top 5 for the fall. So just to let you know, these stories are, some of them are really, magical, some are crazy, some of them are disgusting. But these are the top 5 moments that I will remember from my program. So today I'm going to start off with number 5. I just want to let everyone know that most of these stories all take place within the last 2 weeks of my program, especially Christmas week. For number 5, I am going to talk about, there's 2 stories I'm going to talk about. They're 2 small ones, but they're all going to be part number 5. So number 5 is the most magical and guest interaction that I really loved and I really enjoyed. So the first one is about Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. I was working at Splash Mountain, and for those of you who don't know, there is trick-or-treating trails throughout the park, and we had one at the Splash Mountain exit, under the railroad station. I pulled a task, and a task is you're not assigned to a position because rotations are not going out, people's brakes or bump outs are not going out. So you have 15 minutes, or the 10-minute one, which is pick planters. But that's a whole other thing with Splash Mountain operation, which I'll put another video in. So basically, I pulled a task, and I don't read the task, so I was like, I am not going to sweep the queue. I'm going to help outside at the front of the attraction, because the line for candy is right next to the line for Splash Mountain, and people obviously do not read on vacation. So the Splash Mountain sign, stand by entrance, people thought it was a candy line, people thought the other one was Splash Mountain, crazy. So I was trying to help out, and this woman comes over to me and she says, well, first of all, she's very flustered. She's like, someone stole 2 full bags of candy out of my stroller, and it took 2 hours to get all that candy from all the trick-or-treat stations. My son is going to be so upset. I don't know what to do. And pause. First thing is, 1, why do you leave valuables in your stroller unattended? And I'm thinking, well, candy's not that valuable, so scratch that. Second of all, why would someone steal candy from a stroller? That is literally stealing candy from a baby. So since I was tasking, I was not assigned to a position, so I didn't have to stay in any safety critical location. So I went up and I said, okay, don't worry, don't cry, follow me. So I went to the trick-or-treat, give out whatever the location. And I asked the cast members, because they were all Frontier Lane cast members, and I was like, this woman, she lost 2 full bags of candy, someone stole from her stroller, can you fill up 2 bags and I'll give it to her? They're like, oh sure, no problem. So they filled up the 2 bags of candy and I gave them to her, and the moment I presented them, she started bawling. She was crying because she couldn't believe that, what, I guess she went through such a crazy last 15 minutes of, what happened. She didn't want her son to cry. And I told her, it might not be the exact same candy as you got, but it's candy. And she's like, oh, he's 3 years old. He'll never know the difference. And so she gave me a huge hug. She was crying. She kept saying, thank you so much. And I was like, this is me creating magic. This is me going, it wasn't even going out of my way. I wasn't doing anything, but she doesn't know that. And just to get the candy, she was so happy, and that's the reason why people love being cast members. And just a side note, I do all these type of things all the time for guests. And my managers, leaders, or coordinators are never around when I do these nice things. But when someone starts yelling at me, like a guest, that's when there's always a coordinator around. So I don't know why you have that bad luck. But anyway, that's one of my greatest magical moment stories that I have. So I really enjoyed that, and I just couldn't believe how happy she was that for candy. I just couldn't believe it was the simplest thing, just getting a bag of candy for her, and she was so grateful for that. So my second story has to do with my American Sign Language name tag. If you don't know, here's a picture of my Instagram for my sign language badge. If you don't remember, in my training and updates video, I passed my ASL test where I went in person and took a test because my minor in college was deaf studies. So I'm not fluent in sign language, but I know enough for conversational purposes. So I was at FastPass return during Christmas week, and just letting you know, you could imagine how crazy that is. And you can't let in anyone early. So this family comes, there's a parents and a child, and they're 25 minutes early. So I said, oh guys, you're 25 minutes early. And they're like, okay. But I could tell they were deaf just by their interactions, and you could just tell. So then I signed 25 minutes to them, and I don't know if they saw that. So later, rotation came around, and I went to lap bar assist, which yet again, I will make a video about the positions at Splash Mountain. Anyway, I'm telling people to put the lap bar down, and it's most stressful, screaming at people. Yes, you are screaming at people. So what happens is this couple, I didn't realize it was the same family, but the two parents and the child all squeezed in the front row. I'm saying to myself, this is a little tight. But the child was not sitting down, and I told my dispatch to hold. I said that he needs to be sitting down, and I realized, oh, this is the deaf family from earlier, and he was not sitting down. And then they were like, okay, we're getting off. Like, they're like, we're getting off. Like, you could just tell. So I told them to release the lap bars, and they got off. And then I sent the log, I got everyone down. And then I asked a cast member who wasn't doing anything, because I know the family still didn't leave the station, and the little boy was crying. I asked another cast member, since we had extra positions up for Christmas week, can you watch my position? Can you take over? I want to help this family. They're like, sure. And so I asked them, I went up to the family, and I signed to them saying, can I help you? And they just looked at me. And I was like, oh, I know sign language, and I signed that to them. This is all sign language. And they just stared at me, and then they looked at my sign language badge, my name tag, and they're like, oh, sign language. And they were communicating with each other. And they started signing with me, and I told them, I asked what was going on, and they said he's too scared. I'm like, well, if he's too scared, he's not going to be able to ride. Like, he has to be sitting down. So I explained the rider switch process. I was saying, like, first, you can go and you wait with him, and then you'll switch, and he'll go ride. And they're like, no, we want for the picture. And I'm like, well, he can't ride. If he's not going to sit down properly, he can't ride. So then I asked, is the child deaf? And they said, no, he's hearing. And okay, so I started speaking English to him. And then they told me, no. And I was like, what? And they're like, Spanish. And I'm like, oh, they speak Spanish, but they're somehow able to understand the sign language I was using. So my coordinator comes over, and she asked me what's going on, and I was explaining the situation, and she would tell me what to say to them in sign language, so I would say it, and I was kind of an interpreter, even though I wasn't really interpreting, I was just helping them. And then I told them then we got the other cast member to come over who spoke Spanish. So it was me doing the sign language, her doing the Spanish, and tell them how to do the rider switch, and saying they has to be sitting down, and why he's scared. He just wouldn't tell her why he's scared. He just didn't want to go on. So after this whole nonsense, they finally go and they say thank you, and they really appreciate how I do the sign language. And I really enjoyed that. This was the first time I was able to use my sign language to the end of my program. Some reason on my days off, people were like, where were you yesterday? And I'm like, oh, it was my day off. And they're like, there was someone who knew sign language and you weren't here. So my sign language came in handy, my skills, and I was really happy to use them. And I feel like I went above and beyond with my guest service. And I got a 4 keys card, which is also on my Instagram, which you guys should all follow. And I really enjoyed, just being able to communicate with these guests and making these magical moments and going above and beyond. Because in an attractions role, usually you're in such a fast-paced location that you don't have time to, talk to guests and really, get to know them, make their trip magical. Basically, it's how many? 2, okay, row 1. It's so quick. Pull down your lap bars, hop on in, guys, sit down, pull your lap bars, and you send a log. You don't get to talk to these people. You see thousands and thousands of people per hour. And your extent is row 1, row 2, how many? Pull your lap bar down, hop on out. You don't really get to talk to these people. So I was really grateful for the cast member to take over my position, for letting me to go out of my way to communicate with these guests, and my coordinator for giving me a 4 keys card for going out of my way to help the guests with my sign language skills. So that was, I guess, 2 stories in one, but that was my number 5 story of, you know, top guest situations. So stay tuned for the rest of them from going 4 to 1. And boy, do they get more crazy and interesting. So thanks for watching. I have tons more videos to upload. I have a whole Hidden Magic video series, and just post videos too of what I'm going to be doing and answering questions, bucket list, you know, showing my pins, souvenirs, everything. So see you real soon.